Yo, what is up, everyone? It is me. I am here. I hope everyone is doing well. I I'm just gonna pop in for the looking at the rental team, and then I'm gonna not talk over the matches. So we'll just be watching the matches, but I wanted to be able to just kind of discuss the team with you guys. So I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you to everyone who has been continuing to support the channel, even though we have not been posting as many battle matches, and we've mostly just been doing the ROM videos. But in general, I've been feeling appreciative of the amount that we have built the channel, even though things are kind of slow. So just figured I'd share that. And let's talk about the team. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. And when we look at this team, I think it looks a little bit awkward. I don't necessarily think this team is that interesting at face value, nor is it necessarily like the best team. The original idea with the team was actually that I wanted to try Blaziken, and I had Blaziken in the Amoonguss slot, and I was just kind of looking at this team, and I was like, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably never going to comfortably bring Blaziken into a match. It needs 2+1s to be fast. It might not need 2+1s. I'll need to check on that. It needs 2+1s to be faster than Calyrex for sure, but I don't know about Koraidon. So I was originally planning on making this a Blaziken team, and that's why we have Zacian and Koraidon as our restricteds, but I do recognize that Zacian is really not that good paired with Koraidon, and you could also try Groudon on a team like this and probably see decent success. Like, the real problem with this team when you look at it is that we just don't have that much support. Like, we've got a lot of offense, we've got a lot of good positioning, and we have a Moongus, right? But besides that, we're really, kind of just trying to hit hard. And if anything, I think when I look at this team, you would probably take off Walking Wake for a more supportive Pokemon if you're not going to just change one of the legendaries, and at that point it's probably going to change the whole team. So I don't think that this is a bad team. I just think it looks a little awkward, and you guys will see in the matches. I felt relatively comfortable playing the team. It was just that in game one, my opponent read my Terra, and then I didn't really have anything left that could deal very well with Falcarona, so that was on me. In game four, hey, it's a dog. In game four, I was facing Dondozo, and I didn't switch in Walking Wake when I should have, and because of that, I didn't have the right pressure to keep everything else alive, and we lost, right? So I actually would have won the Dondozo match if we had just brought in Walking Wake at the right time. And you guys will get to see all that, right? I cut out one match that was a really interesting Alolan Raichu Miraidon match. And the way that I look at it is if I lose too bad in a match, there's nothing to really learn out of it except for that the other team is interesting, right? Like, you can't watch my plays and be like, oh yeah, this. No, I just got wrecked. But it was a cool team. I do think Alolan Raichu Miraidon is cool, and even though I did get wrecked in that one, I could have started Raging Bolt and things and had a bit of a better chance. So, there's always things that can be done. But with that said, let's just jump into the matches. So yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. And consider trying the team. I don't know. I think it's still kind of in the works, but it's here, so we are out here, and yeah, let's do it. I'm back. I forgot to talk about some of this stuff. So, I don't know. With these two legendaries, what I'm really thinking is like we obviously have the sun to do sun things. Zacian really helps beat Zamazenta. So, you know, the two restricteds, while Zacian is not like necessarily good in the sun, they have decent type coverage and pressure, right? So even though this team doesn't have very good like speed control, etc., it's a balanced team, so you just kind of have to play accordingly. So I'm gonna pop back out, but I'm gonna try to talk about my lead here. So Raging Bolt and Koraidon. What I was basically thinking is Koraidon is good into Volcarona, and Raging Bolt just puts on really good pressure into the team in general. So like Raging Bolt having the bulk to tank the hits because it has the Assault Vest doing big damage. So it makes sense as a lead, but like we do have to think about the Dazzling Gleam mind games. And because of that, I'm pretty much like, all right, gotta Terra Koraidon here, right? But if they call that, that's bad for me. So you guys will see what happens. I was muted. You guys didn't tell me I was muted. I was taught. I said the dog wanted to say hi and everything. So what I was saying is I just didn't get the best of that exchange. Like, it's really nice to know that Dragon Pulse KOs in the sun because I'm not running Draco Meteor. But if you look at the rest of what I brought, I don't have anything now into Quiver Dance Volcarona unless I'm playing really greedy and like targeting it down and it actually works, right? So the only thing I can really do right now, if possible, is like Thunderbolt the heck out of it and like try to KO it. Or I guess technically Dragon Pulse, but yeah, the Ditto makes this a lot harder. So we just don't have anything into Volcarona anymore. So that was just not a good exchange for me turn one. And they called my Terra. So. So I didn't think this one through because I just kind of felt like I was going to lose and I was doing a bad job targeting the Volcarona. I just kept going after the other things, but technically, the way that I would win this would be to get a double protect on Zacian and to have like 2 Thunderbolts into Volcarona, right? Besides that, we can't really do much, and we also need the Zamazenta to not KO anything in that time, so. I'm bad. I'm not doing a good job not commentating this video, I lied. You know, sometimes I just do what I want. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I want. But, yeah, we're talking. So we did get the run back on this, which is fun because it means that I get to test, like, what if I didn't get red turn 1? Maybe something different could have happened, right? One thing I do like about this team so far is that you use everything. So you'll see in this, like, no part of the team was really insignificant. I do think that Suicune, like, kind of does the least at times. It just, like, comes in the back and it's like, yeah, like, I'm here, like, I'm ready, like, you know? And it is really good against certain Pokemon, things like Chi-Yu. But, I think the Suicune Haunts version, is the one Pokemon that we could probably switch. So. Fluttermane was okay. I think bringing Suicune helps a lot more in the Volcarona matchup, though. So. Yeah, so see, like, first off, that survive was very clutch, right? But because we were able to take out the Volcarona, it's like they really don't even have much left now. They have one Pokemon and then they have a Sash Ditto. So really, like, just getting through the Volcarona was the big hurdle in that. But you know, this is one of the stronger teams going around right now. So. So I did end up changing my, what's its actual name, Walking Lake? I ended up changing my Walking Lake to speed rays in the sunlight. So I made that adjustment, and then I did the Sash Flutter Mane I thought was pretty important. Alright, so we've got a Reg G, right? Reg G team here. It is scary. This is definitely like a Toxic stall, Leech Seed stall, you know, Thunderwave stall team. So this is nothing to be taken lightly. What I'm basically thinking here is I need to start something that pressures the Leech Seed boy, you know, into not really like setting up on me, but I also need to pressure the Lunala at the same time. So this is a decent start. I mean, if anything, it pressures a Terra out of something. So yeah. So here I'm going to do a double swap because I want to be able to pressure Spore, and I know that they're not going to Thunder Wave the Zacian next turn. So I get rid of the Leaf Seed. I bring in something that has the ability to KO the Pile of Leaves boy, whatever its name is, Wochen. And yeah, so Spore Pressure and Wochen Pressure. And we know they're not going to Thunder Wave Koraidon this turn. Protecting is even better because it means they're not going to protect next turn. So they have to switch out if they want to save that boy. So that was an interesting turn because I don't want to Terra and risk getting hit with a Meteor Beam. I don't want to switch into Fluttermane and risk taking the Moongeist Beam. So the best thing to do was actually just to stay in, even though there's also the Moonblast possibility. So, Lunala, good Pokemon, you know, good moveset. Can't lie about that. Good moveset, good ability. Lots of bulk, hits hard, you know. Does everything right. Just kind of bad type in certain matchups, obviously, but it has the bulk to back it up. So we basically had them pinned at that point, which is the good thing. The only thing that they can really do, because the Shadow Ball was a 2-shot, is bring in Lunala into the Gyarados slot. And even then, it's asleep. They're both asleep. Unfortunately, we had to use Amoonguss for Amoonguss things in this one because they were playing a Thunder Wave stall game. So, fight Thunder Wave with sleep. It works. Yeah. So here we have a very scary team. The Koraidon Calyrex Shadow Rider with Tatsugiri Dondozo and Chi Weezing. So this is the Toxic Spikes stall team. And so what I'm thinking here is Calyrex is obviously a really strong lead for them. My best lead into Calyrex is Raging Bolt Fluttermane because I can click Protect Snarl turn 1, and then turn 2 I can actually try to do something, right? We don't know what Terra the Calyrex has, at least I don't. But interestingly, when I look at this team, I legitimately think this is my best 4. Like, could possibly leave off Suicune for Zacian, honestly, would probably be best, depending on what they use. But Suicune is really good into Chi-Yu, like we talked about. So if we need to beat Chi-Yu, we have that, right? So our opponent does lead the lead that we were thinking they would lead. And yeah, so we're just gonna play it by ear. Do the Protect, do the Snarl, see where we can go from there. So I do now have the Sash, but because this is a game of longevity, and I don't really think that any of my other Terras are necessarily going to be best here, we are going to just use the Fluttermane's Terra right now and try to get out of dealing with this Calyrex points. But, obviously if they Terra, it could be kind of bad, so, you gotta do what you gotta do. So we're actually in a pretty decent position here. Like, Fluttermane hasn't been poisoned. They have Dondozo Tatsugiri in the back, so we already know what everything is. Like, we are pretty safe to, like, call that the Dondozo wants to protect, but it's hard to really know what's going to happen, right? So we switch out the Raging Bolt. They haven't set up Toxic Spikes yet, so switching in Amoonguss is really more about like positioning in front of Dondozo, because we force them to have the Grass Terra if they have it. And yeah, so sorry, the dogs are playing stuff. So they set up the Toxic Spikes. The dog toy is very loud, I apologize. They're chewing on a bone. Yeah, so I feel like that turn was pretty straightforward, but getting an Amoonguss to pressure the Dondozo this turn was kind of important. So it's a positional game for sure, and it looks like they are actually not switching out Weezing yet. So, you know, they've been playing really ballsy, I think would be the way to put it, and giving me a lot of chances. Okay, well, they are going to protect, so that makes sense, but, you know, I could be, like, trying to Spore, I could have targeted the Weezing a little more, you never know. But that's some damage. That's some damage. The dog. It makes me forget that we're muted. I was saying that Icy Wind is important because we don't know how fast Dondozo is, and we want to make sure we can KO it with Flamethrower. So, yeah, I went for the double up. They protected. I think that's smart. But we don't really want a hard swap. Like, I could have if I was going to read that was going to happen, right? But we want to Icy Wind them just to make sure that Suicune is faster. And then, you know, hope that our Flamethrower can get us out of this. We don't have Terra, so that's bad. We actually get an Icy Wind crit. So, saving my butt here. But I still did not make the necessary plays for success, as you guys will see. So we actually have an incredibly straightforward win condition right now. Bring out Suicune, or Walking Wake, whatever his name is. Bring out Suicune, Quick flamethrower, quick spore. We win, right? Like, it's incredibly straightforward. However, in my head, I'm like, well, hold on. If Thunderclap can actually do that, then I can pollen puff myself and I have a better chance of winning in the long run, right? Thunderclap doesn't do that. That's the problem. Like, in my head, I do know that Thunderclap doesn't do that. It's such a gamble, and it's never a gamble that's worth it. So, that's my problem. Lost. Just lost right there. Terrible play. Like, literally, could have just brought out Walking Wake, could have just Flamethrower Spore, would have been fine. But, yeah, so we took a really well-played game there and kind of just threw it. That's on me. Can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate because I think this is a good player, and you know, it was nice to show what we can do versus the team, and that not only that, but we actually did choose like an OK 4. Like, leaving out my restricteds was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with it. So pretty funny, you know. But something you'll find is that the casual ladder the month before a new regulation is actually pretty competitive, and I like that quite a lot. So, you know, play the casual ladder right now if you haven't tried it. You will get some tryhards, quote unquote. So luckily we actually do get a run back here. It's not the exact same team. This one has Urshifu and Didi. I don't even remember if the last one was... No, the last one was a double restricted. This one's not. But I said to myself, I was like, all right, you know what? Let's run it back. Is that what you want? I will do it. Like, I will literally do the exact same thing as last time. Like, just to prove that it would have worked. That's what upset me. I was like, man, I was in the driver's seat. I made a dumb decision. It's on me. So let's run it back. Sorry if my mic is a little loud, by the way, compared to the music. I forget to think sometimes that when I'm enthusiastic, I project more. So. So this game is playing out a little more fast-paced than the last one, right? Like, they went for toxic spikes on turn 1, or I mean turn 2, so we removed the toxic spikes in this game. We switched out wheezing much quicker. So, yeah, the pacing is a little quicker, but I would say the position that we're in is not that much different than the position we were in the last one, so... So because of how much Flamethrower did, or not did as you might say, our opponent actually probably just wins if they don't protect this turn, but they did, and they let me get off another Pollen Puff and get back to full health, so kind of interesting turn of events. I don't really know what they were expecting. I think they should have just attacked, so that probably would have put them in a better position. So that was a really greedy play in my opinion. I think I really should have Pollen Puffed myself that turn, but I wanted to make sure that the next Flamethrower was going to KO Dondozo so that I could Spore the Tatsugiri, right? So that was kind of what I was thinking, but I do not agree with not Pollen Puffing last turn, and then this turn, you know, we didn't Pollen Puff either when we kind of could have, but want that spore into the fish. So. Also, if they didn't protect, my HP goes down to my own life orb. So pollen puffing there literally only works if they protect him. I mean, the chance was decent, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's... We already saw how much Dazzling Gleam does. I think that's really the one thing that's keeping us in this, right? Because if we click Snarl Pollen Puff this turn, there's not much they can do about it, right? Like, sure, we could try to risk the Dazzling Gleam not killing even without Snarl, but we already saw that we're faster than Weezing, so in general, like, my best play right now is just Snarl Pollen Puff. And then, you know, after that, I can start trying to put the Weezing to sleep and get the longevity that I need to secure this win. Alright, last game of the video, we have another Reg G team here. Still a very strong team. It is the Pal Knight with Tinglu and Zamazenta. So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking, like, we need to be able to deal with the Pal Knight side of things, so Amoonguss Fluttermane is generally a good lead versus that, and I do feel comfortable with my restricteds here. Zamazenta is a very scary restricted, but one that's dealt with very comfortably by mainly Zacian, but, you know, Koraidon as well, right? I'm running Fighting Terra on this Zacian because I want to power up the Sacred Swords. However, I do think normal Terra Zacian is really good into, you know, Calyrex Shadow Rider, which is very strong right now. So we got the Amoonguss Flut lead. And what I'm thinking here is obviously Protect is a good move. Icicle Crash is scary, Ice Spinner is scary, so the best thing I can do is actually sacrifice my Terra, and then, yeah, I mean, try to put the Zamazenta to sleep, I think is the safest right now, because we have pressure into Chien-Pao next turn with Moonblast, I don't think Champao can KO my Flutter Mane in one turn realistically unless they have Life Orb or Stellar Terra, but even then I have Sash, so that's null and void. And so yeah, this is just generally a very safe play. We really don't want to take a heavy slam here. The flinch is scary. I would really not like a flinch here. But yeah, so we get that Spore. Good stuff. Good stuff. Super tough. And then here, we have a couple different options. We could go for the double up into Champao to get rid of it, but I'm thinking that we can expect them to attack Flutter Mane this turn, and if I put their whole side of the field to sleep, that gives me time to click Pollen Puff, right? So if I actually just go for Moonblast Spore right now, I can Pollen Puff next turn. Again, if I had got flinched, that would have been really bad, so I really didn't think about that. Pollen Puff probably would have done quite a bit to Champao if I did get flinched. But this is basically a good turn of events. This is the turn of events that I wanted, you know. So their whole side of the field is asleep. We are really hoping that Zamazenta stays asleep, obviously, so that we can actually get off this Pollen Puff. But there's not really a reason to lower Zamazenta's speed right now. It doesn't get me anywhere. It's much better to just go for the Moonblast and then go for the Pollen Puff. So I'm actually going to call that Zamazenta's waking up this turn and then go for a Spore. They go for a Stream Seed. I think that's smart. Zamazenta wakes up, goes for the smart play, and takes out my Amoonguss. So, unfortunate for me. I mean, it's a good play, you know, can't really hate on it, right? But the positioning is decent for me, you know, I can bring Zacian out, I have Sacred Sword, I have Moonblast, so it's not bad, you know. I don't think they Terra'd, right? So they do still have Terra. Withdrawals Dragonite. Okay. So, I mean, they're doing everything correct so far. I would have liked that to do a little bit more. I think Grassy Glide would probably take me down to low yellow, high red. So yeah, we get the Winged King in. It's a pretty safe turn to bring it in. I would never expect them to go for Body Press into Flutter Mane this turn. And we want to make sure that Flutter Mane also doesn't take a Wood Hammer. We want to avoid the fake out. So yeah, I mean, just protect, switch in. Koraidon is very safe here. They heavy slam the foot. And they actually U-turn their self in case I double protected. Very smart. Very smart. I like it. Getting spicy here. But this is an incredible board state for me, in my opinion. Like, I have the play rough. I have the flare blitz. I wouldn't love to take a body press on anything right now, but like, it's kind of better to take out Dragonite while I can, if I'm being honest. If it's choice banded and it locks into E-speed, that's really bad for it. Versus Flutter Mane too, so I could just ignore it, but like, we don't know that Rillaboom can't KO Flutter Mane at the same time, so. I like my Bullet Seed Rillaboom. I'm gonna be honest, like, I wanted to try to make the a Calyrex Ice Rider Kyogre Rillaboom Archaludon team, and like, Bullet Seed is like the best part of the whole team. It's like, I don't care about Archaludon, like Kyogre, I barely use it. Like, it's just Calyrex Ice Rider and Bullet Seed. That's the whole game, like. Like, just like wrecking a Lunala, just like, and there you go, and do more. But yeah, at this point, like, they're smart to use their Terra now. I think it's a little bit late. It would have been really good for them to use that Flare Blitz, or to eat that Flare Blitz last turn. Okay. I think that's a really risky play that worked for them, because, I mean, they did see that I was going for the Zamazenta with Flare Blitz, so I think it makes sense. However, they did not get the KO, and I easily could have just Flare Blitzed Rillaboom last turn, so. Yeah, we have to play rough this turn. I'd hate to miss a play rough, but you kind of have to. So that's the game, and that will be our last match for the day. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks again to everyone who's been supporting the Peregrine playthrough. The link to play the game will always be in the, details under the playthrough videos, so, if you want to try it, don't forget that. And thanks again to just everyone who's been sticking around. So I appreciate all y'all who have helped me build the community, even though, yes, things have been pretty slow recently, but I'm gonna try to get you guys more battle content. This was the only team I really had like close enough to done that I felt comfortable using it, but I definitely don't think it was like the most interesting Reg I team I've been working on, or like necessarily the best. It does need the more support. But whatever, you guys got the rental code, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, and have a good day.